red eyes, black wrinkly skin, giant wingspan, half human, half moth. This is what has been seen over the skies of Virginia as early as 1966. Some call it a harbinger of doom, seen before tragedy strikes. Join us today as we learn more about the famous cryptid, the Mothman. But first, a Horror Time original tale titled A Moth to the Flame.
It is time for
Original Tales of Horror.
Terrifying true stories of the paranormal,
Urban legends
and folklore.
Join us as we explore the dark, the terrifying, and the unknown.
Welcome to the podcast where no matter what time it is always
Horror Time.
Gather around, y'all. I'm gonna tell you a tale of a winged beast seen in these here skies, and a couple of thieves who got their comeuppance. Now, before I get to that, let me tell you the reason these two buffoons were sticking their noses where they shouldn't have been in the first place. You see, there was this family that owned a steel mill and it damn near built this whole town. Clearly, through their lifetime, they acquired an enormous amount of wealth. Well, then they all died off, of course, and then they were placed in some fancy mausoleum. I mean, so fancy that the jewelry alone that they were buried with, well, let's just say it's worth more than your life. Of course, with all that wealth comes the scoundrels seeking out that loot. Now, this is where our two friends come in, the grave robbers. They have come up empty-handed in their last few jobs and, well, they're desperate. They've decided to break into that mausoleum, and now, in the grave robbing community, it became known as the Unbreakable Tomb, a holy grail of sorts. And these two fools think they are in luck because there are barely any guards around. They're about to find out that some things are just not worth it, no matter the cost. Especially when the area is guarded by a creature unlike anything else seen on this God's green earth. Well, looks like the guards are fixing for one more pass, then, we should be clear. I sure hope you're right about the jewelry and these graves.
Hey, what you take me for? Of course I'm right. Never steered us wrong. Where the last two jobs was just a fluke, that's all.
Doesn't seem to be too many guards guarding this area, figuring how much loot is in there.
Well, maybe they don't want all the guards snatched up.
What you mean snatched up?
Well,
by what?
There is this old legendary creature around here. Some people call it the Mothman. Sort of a freak show thing. Half moth, half man.
That sounds like an angel to me. What a bunch of hogwash.
Far from an angel. Some say it's a bad omen. Seen it before a tragedy strike. But hell, alright, don't bully me. Ain't gonna be my ass snatched up. I'll be keeping my eyes open. Here's your shovel and your crowbar. Start digging.
Well, looks like they are fixing to leave. Let's get our shit together and head over. Still think it's a bunch of hogwash. Whatever. Thanks. Oh, and here's the dynamite.
Dynamite? The hell you doing with that?
How else you think we gonna get into the unbreakable tomb?
Yeah, and wake up the whole goddamn town? Or blow us up? Put that shit away.
Alright, if you say so, I'll just leave it here. What in the hell was that? That didn't sound like no owl. Let's hurry up. I want to get out of here before sunrise.
I scared you with that Mothman stuff, huh? I didn't hear nothing.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, looky here. Papa had a gold pocket watch. I may actually keep this for myself.
You bastard, give it here. Let me take a look. Oh, that's mighty fine looking. Oh, real too. Alright, here's the deal. You pay me half, you can have it. But we splitting everything out 50-50. That was the deal.
Damn, I ain't no thief. Oh, of course we gonna split it. You're usually the greedy bastard, not me. Jeez. I don't like the sound of that, Clarence. Let's just leave now with what we got.
God damn, Bart. I never took you as the gullible type. I was just pulling your leg about the Mothman and shit. Besides, we can't leave. We got one more right over there. So grab the shovel and don't wimp out on me now.
Hell no. I think we are good. You were the one that said the Mothman is an omen. What if something bad happens?
What are you, chicken? Trust me, this is the last one. After this haul, let's just say you won't have to worry about nothing again.
Ain't nobody call me a chicken. Alright, just one more trip back and forth.
Oh boy, I did hear that. That's not no small critter running around.
Oh my god, look over there. Oh, those eyes are so red. It's headed straight towards us. The creature slams on the ground and slowly rises up. Must have been 7 to 10 feet tall with pitch black, leather-like and wrinkly skin. He was covered with hair, just sporadic-like, with eyes the size of dinner plates, reflecting red in the moonlight. And its wings? Oh man, they are shaped like one of them vampire bat wings, just 1,000 times bigger. It spread those wings and completely blacked out the moonlight that was shining down on them. It let out a high-pitched scream. It took off straight up into the sky. The wind let out from those powerful wings sent them straight to the ground and hard, knocking them out.
Woo-wee! God damn! I told you it was real!
Wait, hold on. You just told me it wasn't real, god damn it. Oh hell, never mind. Let's just get out of here.
All I was trying to do was calm your nerves, but never mind. Now the plan has changed. I'm gonna catch that sumbitch. Imagine the fortune we can make by having our very own live Mothman. Hell, we could take it on the road. People come from all over for that.
You are out your goddamn mind. That fall must have messed you up good. And how do you plan on catching it?
I got rope, so we can hog tie it.
You're gonna hogtie a giant flying monster? That's a terrible idea. Clarence? Clarence? Where'd you go, Clarence? Oh, what the hell? No, please. I'm sorry. I'll put it all back. I swear, I'll put it all back. Bart runs into the forest, and the sound of that Mothman is echoing around him. The fall of its wings grows louder and louder, until silence again. Boom! Clarence falls to the ground in front of Bart like a sack of potatoes. Holy hell, Clarence! You're still alive? Don't move. I'll be right back. I'm gonna find some help. Sit tight, buddy. You're gonna make
fine.
it.
I'm gonna go get that son bitch. It's too damn priceless. God damn it! I left my rope at the mausoleum. Gotta go get it.
Are you insane? You're gonna get yourself killed. You're lucky you aren't already dead. No. You stay right there. I'm gonna get some help. Where are you going? Are you listening to a word I'm saying? God damn it. All right, well, I'm still gonna get some help.
Come and get me, you goddamn wiggin' freak. You're gonna make Papa Clarence a lot of money. Ah, there's my rope. Oh, you in for it now. Come on down here and show yourself. Aha, there you are. Get down from that tree.
Clarence starts running for the creature. He was ready to climb that tree like a goddamn panther when he trips over the very loot he was stealing and tips over that torch. Remember that dynamite Bart thought he was so clever for? Well, that torch lit that dynamite and boom! I reckon he brought enough dynamite to bring down the Smoky Mountains. Because when it went off, it leveled the whole cemetery, and parts of the gravestones went hurling into the nearby houses. Hit a poor guy as he was sitting at his dinner table drinking a cup of coffee and reading the news. Another one? Well, that went straight into sweet little Abby's bedroom. And luckily, there weren't no deaths or serious injuries. Now, folks started talking for sure. Many claimed to have seen the Mothman lurking over the cemetery just days before the incident. As for Clarence, well, I don't think I need to state the obvious there. Bart did end up getting help, but by the time they got to that there cemetery, it was nothing but a pile of rubble. Now, Bart ended up being thankful for the Mothman after all of that. Maybe sometimes taking heed to omens and listening to your gut ain't such a bad thing. In the end, greed don't pay off. If anything, it gets you in a whole heap of trouble. Unfortunately for Clarence, well, he learned that lesson too late. Hello, fellow horror friends. I'm Timekeeper Matt.
And I'm Timekeeper Pat.
And welcome to Horror Time. Today we're going to be talking about the Mothman. Been excited about this one because Mothman is a very popular cryptid. So, yeah, let's get right into it. One evening in 1966, two gravediggers were still on the job at a cemetery in Clendenin, West Virginia.
Come on, quit moving like molasses. I don't want to be here all night.
Yeah, I'm fixing to hurry up. Just taking a bit of a break.
The hell was that? Did you see that?
What stands 6 feet tall, has wings, two big red eyes, 6 inches apart, and glides along behind an auto at 100 miles an hour? Don't know? Well, neither do 4 Point Pleasant residents who were chased by a man-like thing Tuesday night. Two young Mason County married couples told of being chased by the strange creature Tuesday midnight. Mr. and Mrs. Steve Millette and Mr. and Mrs. Roger Scarberry described their hair-raising experience, which began in the TNT area. The two couples were riding in a car as the auto crested a hill. An object loomed in front of them.
Do y'all see that in the sky? Right there, over the tree line.
The object was in the form of a man about 6 feet tall with wings on its back. Becoming frightened, the couple drove away at 100 miles an hour, with the strange creature drifting along the car. The couple said the thing seemed to avoid the light.
There, into there.
When they turned into the C.C. Lewis farm, the creature was again in front of the car. What appeared to be a large dead dog was lying on the road.
What in the hell? Is that a dead dog?
Deputy Sheriff Millard Halstead searched the TNT area. The deputy said the thing was gone, but he found a strange pile of dust. Scarberry, 18, said, "Believe me, if you ever saw it, you'd be a believer." The men said they might go looking for the thing tonight, but indicated they were afraid they might find it. A day later came a follow-up report from Hire. Monster returns to Mason. Rumors are flying through Mason County faster than the thing, Hire reports began, which has been spotted by several people in various locations. "I never saw anything like it," she quoted a new witness as saying. "I just couldn't go to work today. This thing had a wingspan every bit of 10 feet. It could be a bird, but I surely never saw one like it." Whatever it is, Hire concluded, the creature has convinced other frightened motorists that it isn't a figment of the imagination. By late November 1966, about 2 weeks after the first report, word had spread far and wide of the Mason County monster. In her Where the Waters Mingle column from November 27th, Hire wrote of Sergeant Morton Jackson from Point Pleasant, who was serving overseas. This story, like the first one, was published on the Messenger's front page. In those days, local stories, those written by Messenger staff writers in any of its myriad of bureaus, were typically published within the inside pages. The front page was traditionally dedicated to state, national, and international news. Nonetheless, Hire's follow-up got equal billing to a photo of President Lyndon Johnson, who was recuperating from surgery, and to a story announcing the shocking acquittal of Cleveland murderer suspect Dr. Sam Shepard. The fact that the Mothman made it to the front page twice in a row demonstrates how the tale so greatly captivated the public. The second story told of more witnesses seeing the creature in the two spots. The rural area from the first report, as well as a stretch from Route 7 near Cheshire. Evidently, the creature thought it fair to try spooking those on the other side of the Ohio River as well. Again, the police were called, and again, a search was conducted. As with the previous night, this proved fruitless. Word of witnesses spread throughout, and soon the area was flooded with curious sightseers. Hire even snagged an interview with perhaps the first ever Mothman conspiracy theorist. You see, it's that talk of going to the moon and that stuff, he told the Messenger. It's hard to tell. Can't even get through it. Okay. Hire even snagged an interview with perhaps the first ever Mothman conspiracy theorist. You see, it's that talk of going to the moon and that stuff, he told the Messenger. It's hard to tell what they've caused to come back to Earth. Of course, some accepted this, while many others did not. The legend started to grow, and some even claimed that the men in black were seen in the area. The men in black are reportedly seen in areas during mysterious events, and it seems that this classified as such. The third story about the Mason County monster printed 3 days later and was bumped from page 1 all the way to page 41. Not that it received any less attention from frightened and bemused readers. The story goes on to say that each description from various witnesses contains the phrase "red eyes 6 inches apart." How witnesses could discern the separation of eyes down to an exact inch of a creature moving at 100 miles per hour was evidently not questioned by law enforcement. But by this point, the messenger had moved beyond conspiracy theorists to interviewing more reputable sources. Dr. Robert Smith, an associate professor of biology at West Virginia University, believed residents were actually witnessing a large sandhill crane. Those in the Ohio University Zoology Department, however, quickly poured water onto that notion. They pointed out that there had never been a known sighting of a sandhill crane in this part of the country. Then again, there hadn't been a sighting of a Mothman either. Student members of Proctorville Farland High School Science Interest Club had a guess. Try that. Student members of the Proctorville Fairland High School Science Interest Club had a guess of their own. They believed the unidentified object was actually a gas-filled balloon that the club had released to study air currents. Perhaps the best line came from a man who, rather smartly, declared to offer his quote anonymously. He said the description fit his mother-in-law exactly, especially the red eyes 6 inches apart. In the same Messenger edition on November 20th, 1966, Heyer wrote a separate column about the impact the story had on the town of Point Pleasant. The Bureau's phone was ringing off the hook with theories, sightings, and concerns and questions. What does a strange monster do to a town or a community? Or one might ask, what happens at the news desk of a paper, she began. Since the strange creature was sighted in this area this week, it has brought more excitement than anything I have witnessed since I started working for the Messenger nearly 25 years ago. Soon after, Mary Heyer made it back to the front page, and this time above the fold. Creature sighted in daylight. I never saw anything like it, she quoted a new witness saying. I just couldn't go to work today. This thing had a wingspan of every bit of 10 feet. It could be a bird, but I surely never saw one like it. It was one thing for a mysterious monster to be seen at night. In the daylight, though, that's another thing entirely. This was shocking. No longer residents believed. Could these paranormal sightings be chalked up to a dusky misidentification? A 25-year-old man saw the thing bright as day, clear as crystal. The man was headed to a farm north of Point Pleasant when he claimed to have seen the creature rise up just like a helicopter. It then flew overhead at approximately 70 miles an hour. Towards the Ohio River, the man clocked the Mothman at a slower speed than the others had. Whatever it is, Heyer concluded, the creature has convinced other frightening motorists that it isn't a figment of the imagination. The monster beat went cold for a few weeks, but Heyer was back on the Messenger's front page December 12th. Cheshire people tell of strange sightings. One resident described seeing saucer-shaped objects in the sky, while others told of seeing red and orange lights shining from the nearby Ohio River. Of note in this report, it is mentioned of John Keel, said to be a magazine writer from New York City who visited Point Pleasant to interview witnesses. Keel would go on to write the 1975 book The Mothman Prophecies, which was adapted into a 2002 feature film. The event that really helped solidify this was in 1967 when tragedy struck. The Silver Bridge, the bridge over the Ohio River that connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed after a suspension chain fractured and killed 46 people and injured many others. Before the collapse, some locals claimed they saw the winged creature flying in the area. The accounts don't stop there, however. The sightings have persisted over the years since, and not just in West Virginia. The Chernobyl disaster, one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, has its own eerie connection to the. In the days leading up to the catastrophic explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in April 1986, workers and residents in the surrounding area of Pripyat, Ukraine, reported sightings of a strange creature. Described as a dark bird like figure with red, glowing eyes, this entity bore a striking resemblance to the Mothman, a legend already associated with ominous events and disasters in other parts of the world. These these sightings have added a chilling prelude to the disaster that unfolded in the early hours of April 26, 1986, when reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl plant exploded, releasing large quantities of radioactive particles into the atmosphere. The event not only had immediate catastrophic events causing death and sickness, but also long term consequences for the environment and human health in the wider region. Eyewitnesses who reported seeing the Mothman like figure described an overwhelming sense of dread and fear, with some interpreting the creature's appearance as an omen of impending disaster. Reports also mention strange, unexplained noises and a series of unsettling phone calls in the area, furthermore, contributing to the atmosphere of fear and anxiety that surrounded the nuclear power plant before the accident. The connection between the Mothman and the Chernobyl disaster is shrouded in mystery and speculation. Skeptics might argue that the sightings were the result of heightened stress and anxiety among the plant workers and the local population, given the inherent risk associated with nuclear energy. However, for those who believe in the Mothman's existence, the creature's appearance in Chernobyl is seen as another example of its role as a harbinger of doom, warning of the catastrophic events that were to come. In the days leading up to the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City on September 11th, 2001, several eyewitnesses reported seeing a dark winged figure in close proximity to the Twin Towers. These sightings were described with a sense of foreboding as well, as if the presence of the creature was an omen of the disaster that was about to unfold. On the morning of the attacks, as chaos and tragedy engulfed the city, there were accounts of a creature flying parallel to the second plane moments before it struck one of the towers. This detail, if true, suggests a direct, chilling connection between the Mothman and the events of that day. Witnesses described the creature as a black, winged entity aligning with typical descriptions of the Mothman given in other sightings, large with an ominous presence and often glowing red eyes. In the aftermath of the attacks, the narrative takes a turn towards the conspiracy. Individuals who claim to have seen the creature flying near the Twin Towers were reportedly approached by mysterious figures, often described as the Men in Black, who warned them to stop speaking about what they had witnessed. In March 2011, Japan faced one of the most devastating natural and nuclear disasters in recent memory when a massive earthquake and subsequent tsunami triggered a meltdown at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Leading up to this disaster, there were reports of a mysterious figure that resembled the Mothman. Witness described seeing a large black creature with expansive wings and glowing red eyes, characteristics that closely align with previous descriptions of the Mothman. One notable account came from Marcus Pouls, an American visiting Japan at the time. Near the Fukushima plant, Pouls and a friend reportedly heard a loud whooshing sound followed by an eerie screeching. Turning towards the source of the noise, they were confronted by the sight of this ominous figure perched atop one of the buildings within the power plant complex. For a few seconds, the creature's glowing red eyes seemed to stare directly at them, instilling an intense feeling of dread before it furled its wings and disappeared into the night sky. The experience left Pools and those who also claimed to have seen the creature with a profound sense of unease, a feeling that was horribly validated when the earthquake and tsunami struck, leading to the nuclear meltdown. The disaster caused widespread destruction, forced the evacuation of thousands of residents, and had long term health and environmental consequences. In 2006, a man and his son were driving in La Crosse, Wisconsin, when they saw a winged creature fly down to them in front of their car, close enough to touch. They described the creature once again as bat like and fleshy, with sporadic hair and red eyes the size of road reflectors. And now, the most recent one was back in 2016 when a man in Point Pleasant snapped a photo of what very much looks like the Mothman. He only recently at the time moved to the area and had no clue of the legend and claimed the photo was not doctored in any way. Is the Mothman an urban legend that has spread worldwide, or could he possibly be flying above us right now? Dun, dun, dun.
Hopefully he's not, because that usually means something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy, though. La Crosse, Wisconsin is not too far from where I'm living, so that's crazy.
I know. Well, I
Um,
wasn't sure. Like I read it, like I looked at a couple of things and I saw that it had appeared in different places. I didn't know it did appear in Japan. I didn't know there was a nuclear meltdown in Japan in 2011. Actually, so that's
yeah, I
fact
mean that
for
was a
me.
while ago, but I do remember that. I do remember that they had that massive earthquake with that massive tsunami, and yeah, it caused a nuclear meltdown. But yeah, I mean that was over 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
uh, yeah, right. But yeah, it's among all the cryptids. I kind of thinking about it. I was like, what makes this cryptid so famous? When others kind of remain really local. Sometimes you hear cryptids and you're like, I've never heard of that thing in my life.
Uh,
um but this one, along with obviously like Bigfoot and Nessie, like this one has taken at least nationwide acclaim, but as we've seen as throughout the story, international um stories have popped up about it too. But it's like, what makes this so much different from the other ones? Like, why this one? And I don't know, maybe it's that it shows up outside of just wandering around a forest or something. It shows up, has that extra step to it where it shows up when there's tragedy.
it's about to
And for
strike.
them,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and there's so many more stories that can be taken around it. So many more conspiracies with the Men in Black and stuff like that. I think it just becomes more intriguing at that point. um and it's so popular to the point where they actually have festivals every year. We kind of mentioned this in the last episode at the end there, but yeah, they have festivals every year in Virginia, and in the Point Pleasant. um yeah, Mothman festivals, and it brings like tens of thousands of people out there too, like worldwide. Like it's not just like their economy is run by it apparently. Like it really boosts their economy around that time of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go. And they have a statue there. I don't know if you've seen that statue around.
I think you
They have a
tagged me in
statue of the
that.
Mothman.
The one that they put people are putting quarters
Yeah.
in the thing.
they're they're putting quarters in the ass crack of the statue.
I swear, like my first comment to you was going to be like the ass crack bandit from Community, but then I look down in the comments and I see a couple down. Someone already did it.
Oh, and people are already
Yeah,
referencing it. That's funny though. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it's obviously popular enough where people just have this like intriguing idea about it. And it's definitely one of the more interesting creatures. Like, what could it possibly be? It kind of reminded me when we were talking about the Jersey Devil and how they were bringing up the Sandhill Crane. And remember, they brought up, we talked about that one way back when in the first season, I think it was. And they didn't they think it was what did they think it was? It was like some weird, I forget what it was called now, but you remember what I'm
it was
talking
like a
about?
bat, right? Like some sort of large
Yeah, it was like,
bat.
oh yeah, it was one of those large bats, but it had like almost like a horse type face.
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
what it was called. I forget what it was called, but
yeah, yeah. And it's just that idea of that, um, but this whole Mothman, when you put that together, like, so like some cryptids, I think to myself, oh yeah, that could possibly be real. Like we haven't found everything that how we've discussed in the past. Like, we haven't found everything in this world. Things could exist. Things could hide from us. Things could be intelligent. We don't know.
Hmm.
Like, I'll open my mind to that. But Mothman's just this like harbinger of doom, and
Well,
I don't
the
know.
I guess
Cool idea.
the Virginia story where it originated in 1966,
Yes.
67. It wasn't there like a bunker it was like hanging out by, like that team, like a military bunker
Yes.
from World War II.
Yes. Yeah, it was like the TNT area. I wasn't quite sure what they were referring to, but is that what that was?
Yes, that's, well, at least that's what I read with
You gathered
whatever
from it, yeah.
I found.
Yeah, and they said that they were kind of chalking it up to like the cranes in the area or something like that. From what I read, that like they were just seeing stuff in that area, and that's what they were trying to. Some people were trying to say.
Oh, that it was just,
Um,
they're just trying to make things make sense, like,
mm-hmm,
oh,
mm-hmm.
because I was going to say, like, well, maybe it was some sort of experiment down in those
Oh,
laboratories, and
Montauk project type thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like a portal opened up, or
Oh, geez, you're connecting it to our other
yeah,
episode.
yeah, oh yeah. Um,
um,
but
yeah.
did you, when you were like researching and everything, did you find anything about like how, what's the span of like if he appears, how long before something happens? Because I didn't find
No,
anything.
no. Almost as if he's like a Pennywise or a Jeepers Creepers type creature, where he's like every 23 years or every
Uh,
28 or whatever. No, I haven't seen that type of thing where he just appears every so often, but it does seem like there is a gap. Um, like he was showing up fairly often during that whole tragedy then. And you can go online and you can see, so when I said there was the picture of 2016, you can see it.
mhm.
um i, I don't know, it kind of looks kind of goofy, but um it does look similar to the other. There is a, I don't know if it's a doc, I'm sure it's doctored or whatever it might be. I don't know if anything's been claimed about it, but from the 9/11 stuff, there is photos of that as well. um I don't know about the Chernobyl thing. Probably not, because it's Russia. but
Was it this black and
but I
white
know.
one? Oh, I'm trying to. I want to see it now.
Oh, you're looking at it. Yeah, it's like a black and white one, and you can only really see the silhouette of the Mothman. Yeah, I don't know. It does kind of look a little fake to me, but um, I think the creature's cool though. Like, I think it's the idea of it is cool.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
no doubt. And then, I mean, just looking at the statue they have of him
yeah,
there in Virginia, um,
yeah,
like there's like details on there. You just like, I mean, I know we all have like awesome imaginations and we could come up with some wild things, but I mean,
right.
that's like a thing. That's like,
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll give everyone, but at the same time, I don't know, that it could be something to it as well. But the one thing is that all the descriptions are exactly the same. Not that the descriptions are that detailed of descriptions. It's a very general, vague one. But I mean, you got to think, like, how many of these people have actually heard of the Mothman before? Like that one, um, in who went to Virginia, who got the picture, claims that he's never heard of the Mothman before that. So there's an idea of that. Like, he's describing this thing and he's never heard of it before.
mm-hmm.
So that can give a little bit of, a little bit of weight to it. But it just seems like a fairly unbelievable creature, unless it's extraterrestrial. Dun dun dun. But the idea that it shows up before that. But at the same time, there are creatures, or there are a lot of animals that like know when something's coming. Like, they seem to have a different sense, like when the animals like know a storm's coming or something like that,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like
Like when
like
cows
they're
lay down when it's gonna rain or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, or
Or
like, birds get out of the area, or they know it's coming. And then even with people, like, we're the only creatures that can smell rain. Did you know that?
what?
Um yeah, we're the only ones apparently that can actually smell rain. Like, other creatures don't smell it.
Like,
But you know what I mean by the smell of rain, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but
Exactly.
like,
You know what
if you have a
you know what rain smells.
if you have a
Like,
nose or something has a nose, can it?
yeah, but apparent yeah, well, but it just depends on the receptors and stuff like that,
Um,
because like we can't smell things that, dogs can smell. They can smell so much more than we can. Um and smell different things. So like I think it's that same idea where like other animals can't really smell the rain, but we can.
oh my god.
So it's like that idea. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Off topic,
So
but it's kind of with the smelling. I saw something the other day. It was a dog getting in a tub after a long day, and it goes to light a candle, and it's a dog butt candle. I was like dying. I
That's
couldn't.
great. That's funny.
Oh, yeah,
It's great.
just little humor in there.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, so to that idea, like, maybe that's why this thing shows up, that like it's not trying to warn us necessarily, but it just knows when something bad is happening.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it's a cool creature. I've never seen the Mothman prophecy, so I don't know what that all entails. Um, have you ever seen it?
I don't think so. I didn't know it was a thing until we did this one, this episode. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily like based on the creature or the event that happened. Um, I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I've heard of it before. I just have never watched it.
no, the only things I just remember, like the Silence of the Lambs, the moth on the cover. Um,
Yeah. What an interesting name for a creature too. Like, it doesn't, like, you break it down, it's not that intimidating of a name, the Mothman.
no, it sounds well. The other thing I thought about when the Mothman said, and what pops directly into my head is Baxter Stockman from like the '80s Turtles.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he's the first thing that pops into my mind when I hear Mothman.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. It's funny. Uh,
Let's see. Um, so
but you have anything else? I don't know. I don't
I'm
got too
looking at my
much to add
notes.
to it. It's a cool
Yeah.
story.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I think we talked about those. Um, yeah, no, I think we got everything in my notes that I had.
Okay. All right. Um, so yeah, the Mothman's it's an interesting creature. It's fun. And maybe one day we can go to that festival. That would be kind of
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Be a good time. Oh. I know I'd have fun with it.
Maybe get some
But
good
anyway,
stories out of it too. Hey, maybe
I
they're
know, right?
hiding. Well, not hiding, but maybe they'll.
Well, they have a whole museum and everything too. You can go. They have a museum. There's a Mothman museum.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
like they're like yeah, they're really into this legend over there. Like, it's their claim to fame.
Hey,
Yeah. That's why I want to go there someday, just to see that culture, because I love these type of things, these type of cryptids that have like really just like created a culture, like this like subculture. Like, I think that's one of the more fun things about these type of creatures like Bigfoot and all that. Like, you want to believe in it. Um and the town almost takes claim to fame for that type of thing. Roswell, Bigfoot, uh Mothman, that type of thing.
they're,
So it's
they're
fun.
spreading it. They're creating it.
Right, right. It's all those men in black. They're trying to fake us out.
Got all those. We all got neuralized so many times.
Is that what it? Yeah, they neuralized us. Tommy Lee and Will Smith showed up and neuralized us. But anyway, so that is all I have with the Mothman. I think that's all we have. I know we said that we were going to do the whole YouTube thing, but we have decided mutually that we're going to actually do it at the beginning of next season. So season 4, which is crazy that we've been doing it for 4 years now.
Holy moly!
I know, right? It's been a fun ride, but so yeah, we got a few more episodes left of this season. We'll be wrapping it up in. I think we have it wrapping up in like May or June, beginning of June, I think. But yeah, we figured, we want to kind of structure things a little bit more, figure out what we want to do. Filming on YouTube, how we want to present it to you guys. So we are going to take a little bit more time thinking about that. So that's why we are going to wait until season 4, which would premiere in September. So, but yeah, other than that, next episode, we actually are going to be doing our first of a true crime series, Ghosts of True Crime. And we're going to be talking about the monster piece of shit, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. But we're going to be talking about his things that he allegedly haunts, that his terrible, awful, evil spirit still exists in something. So, but yeah, we're excited to start talking about those true crime series. It's something that we've been wanting to kind of delve into. So we're going to be, doing those in the future as well. So this will be our first one.
Sweet.
But other than that, yeah. You got anything else, Pat, to add?
Nope. Just waiting for spring to get here. Keeps going back and
I
forth.
know, right? Seriously, it's ridiculous. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Whatever. But in the meantime, you can always have your spooky time. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It's always spooky around here, whether we're cold or warm or incredibly hot. Does not matter. It is always spooky. So have fun out there, guys. We will catch you next episode. And yeah, see you later.
Enjoy your
Stay
weekend.
spooky.